Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people spend years running on treadmills, counting calories, sweating through workouts, and still carry dangerous belly fat around their organs. Meanwhile, other people never seem obsessed with fitness. They don't track macros, they don't do boot camps, they don't spend hours in the gym, yet somehow they stay lean. Why? Because visceral fat is not just a calorie problem, it's a signal problem. And for thousands of years, human beings unknowingly followed a set of daily rituals that kept those signals under control. Then modern life erased them. Scientists now know that visceral fat behaves less like stored energy and more like a biological command center. It releases inflammatory chemicals, it disrupts blood sugar, it interferes with hormones, and it silently increases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver, and cognitive decline. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The body doesn't decide to store visceral fat because it hates you. It stores visceral fat because your biology believes it needs it. And today, you're about to discover 5 ancient habits that quietly convince the body to do the opposite, and nobody does them anymore. The third one may be the single most powerful metabolic switch most people accidentally turn off every day, because once that switch disappears, the body starts acting like winter is coming, and fat begins moving in. Habit number 1, the 10-minute glucose trap. Imagine 2 people eating the exact same meal, same calories, same carbohydrates, same protein. One person sits down afterward, the other person goes for a short walk. 15 minutes later, their bodies are already heading in different directions. Here's why. Most people think insulin controls blood sugar. That's true. But muscles have a secret back door. When muscles contract, they can pull glucose directly from the bloodstream, often needing far less insulin to do it, which means something remarkable happens during a simple walk. Instead of glucose circulating through the bloodstream waiting to be stored, the muscles start consuming it almost immediately. Less glucose spike, less insulin spike, less storage pressure. Researchers repeatedly find that even 10 to 15 minutes of walking after meals can significantly improve post-meal glucose control. But there's another layer. Walking after eating mimics one of the oldest human behaviors on Earth. Ancient humans rarely finished a meal and collapsed onto a sofa. Food was followed by movement. Movement was followed by survival. And survival kept metabolism flexible. Today we reverse the sequence. We eat, then we sit. Then we wonder why our bodies act differently. But the strange part is, this is only where the story begins. Because controlling glucose is useless if your body has nowhere to put it. And that's where habit number 2 becomes important. Habit number 2, the forgotten organ. Many people think the liver is the most important metabolic organ. Some say the pancreas, others say the gut. But there is another organ that quietly controls almost everything, muscle. And most people are losing it. Starting around age 30, muscle mass naturally begins to decline. The process is slow, almost invisible, but metabolically, it changes everything. Because muscle is one of the body's largest glucose storage tanks. The more muscle you have, the more room exists for incoming energy. The less muscle you have, the more likely excess energy gets redirected elsewhere, including visceral fat. And here's something even more surprising. Most people believe they can sit all day and simply undo the damage with a workout in the evening. Biology doesn't work that way. Scientists have discovered that prolonged sitting triggers a completely different set of metabolic changes than simply being inactive. After just 30 to 60 minutes of uninterrupted sitting, muscle activity drops, glucose uptake slows down, fat-burning enzymes become less active, and insulin sensitivity begins to decline. That means your metabolism starts entering an energy conservation mode. This is why researchers often say that sitting is not merely the absence of exercise. It is its own biological state. In large population studies, people who spend more than 8 to 10 hours sitting each day show a roughly 15 to 40% higher risk of premature death compared to those who remain more active throughout the day. And here's the part most people miss. A 45-minute workout cannot fully erase 10 hours of metabolic shutdown. Your body was never designed for one burst of movement followed by endless stillness. This is why ancient humans accidentally performed resistance training every day. They carried water, lifted supplies, dragged wood, climbed terrain, moved their own body weight constantly. Their muscles were receiving signals from morning until night. Those frequent muscle contractions kept blood sugar under control, maintained circulation, and continuously signaled the body that energy was needed. Modern research now shows that even standing up and moving for just a few minutes every 30 to 60 minutes can significantly improve metabolic health. The lesson is simple. Exercise is powerful, but movement is essential. And your body cares far more about what happens during the other 23 hours of the day than most people realize. Biology responds to frequency more than intensity, which means carrying groceries, using stairs, lifting heavy objects, even body weight movements, all send a message. Use this tissue, keep this tissue, burn fuel through this tissue. And when that happens, a powerful metabolic chain reaction begins. But there is still one hormone standing in the way. A hormone so powerful it can completely override everything we've discussed, and most people activate it from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to sleep. Habit number 3, the endless feeding state. This may be the biggest metabolic mistake of the modern world, not what people eat, but how often? Imagine a campfire. Every few hours someone throws another log onto the flames. The fire never gets the chance to burn through the wood already there. That's exactly what constant eating does metabolically. Every snack, every sweet coffee, every handful of crackers, every bite that seems insignificant, keeps insulin elevated, and insulin has one job: store energy. The problem isn't insulin itself. Without insulin, you die. The problem is never allowing insulin to leave the stage. Ancient humans didn't have refrigerators, convenience stores, delivery apps, or kitchen cabinets overflowing with snacks. Meals happened, then long periods of nothing happened. During those periods, insulin gradually fell. Fat burning gradually rose. The body switched fuel systems. Scientists call this metabolic flexibility. And something else begins to happen. As insulin falls, another hormone starts quietly rising. Growth hormone. Most people associate growth hormone with building muscle, but one of its most important jobs is mobilizing stored fat. Think of insulin and growth hormone as biological opposites. Insulin tells the body to store energy. Growth hormone helps release it. Ancient humans naturally moved between these two states every day. Modern eating patterns often keep insulin elevated from morning until night. And when insulin never leaves the stage, growth hormone never gets the chance to fully perform its role. The result? The body becomes increasingly efficient at storing fuel and less efficient at accessing it. Your ancestors simply called it life. And something fascinating happens when you recreate those gaps. Insulin drops, glucagon rises, stored energy starts becoming available again. The body remembers how to access its own reserves, but your body is keeping a secret. Even if you master insulin, even if growth hormone rises, even if your body finally gains access to stored fat, one night of poor sleep can disrupt the entire system. Another invisible force may still be driving fat storage behind the scenes, and it becomes active every single night. Most people never see it, because it only works in the dark. And here's where things become dangerous. Another hormone can override the entire system. A hormone designed to keep you alive during emergencies. And for millions of people, it's active long after the danger has passed. Its name is cortisol. And it may be one of the biggest reasons modern humans struggle with visceral fat, despite doing everything else right. Let's see why. Habit number 4, sleeping like a cave. Human. For most of human history, nights were almost completely dark. Tonight, before you fall asleep, look around your bedroom. The television light, the phone screen, the charger LEDs, the hallway light under the door. Your brain sees all of it, and your biology responds. For hundreds of thousands of years, darkness meant one thing: recovery, repair, hormonal recalibration. Then humans invented artificial daylight. And suddenly the brain became confused. Light suppresses melatonin. Most people know that. What fewer people realize is that melatonin influences far more than sleep. It helps synchronize metabolic timing throughout the body. When melatonin becomes disrupted, appetite signals shift. insulin sensitivity changes, cortisol patterns drift, and two powerful hunger hormones begin to change as well: ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is often called the hunger signal. It tells your brain it's time to eat. Leptin does the opposite. It tells your brain you've had enough. When sleep becomes fragmented or too short, ghrelin often rises while leptin falls. In simple terms, the body becomes hungrier and less satisfied. This is one reason sleep-deprived people often crave calorie-dense foods even when they are not truly energy deficient. Their biology is literally changing the signals that control appetite. But cortisol now gets dangerous, because cortisol was designed for emergencies, not 24-hour modern living. When cortisol stays elevated, the body becomes protective, conservative, defensive, and defensive biology loves abdominal fat. This is why chronic sleep deprivation consistently correlates with weight gain, insulin resistance, and increased visceral fat. Not because tired people are lazy, because tired biology behaves differently. And here's what makes it even stranger. Even perfect sleep cannot fully protect you if your daytime behavior sends the opposite message. Which brings us to the final habit, the habit that ties everything together. And it may be the simplest of them all. Habit number 5, the metabolic pulse. Imagine your heart stopped beating for 8 hours, then suddenly tried to compensate with a 30-minute burst. Absurd, right? Yet that's exactly how many people treat movement. They sit all day, then expect one workout to solve everything. The body evolved around continuous movement, not exercise, movement, tiny bursts, constant contractions, frequent muscle activation, standing, walking, stretching, carrying, changing positions. Researchers call this NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But ancient humans never needed a scientific term. Movement was simply woven into existence. And scientists have discovered something remarkable. The difference in daily energy expenditure between highly active movers and sedentary individuals can reach hundreds of calories every single day. Without formal exercise, without running, without gym memberships, without structured workouts. Just movement. Hour after hour, day after day. Like human beings evolved to do. And when movement becomes a constant signal, the body receives a message. Energy is needed. Fuel must circulate. Storage is less necessary. Visceral fat becomes less valuable. And slowly, the body begins letting it go. Now, step back and look at what these 5 habits actually have in common. Walking after meals, building and using muscle, creating natural eating windows, sleeping in darkness, moving throughout the day. At first they seem unrelated, but they're all controlling the same thing. Signals. Signals that tell the body whether the world is safe or whether energy must be protected. And that's the part most people never understand. Your body is not fighting against you. Your body is responding to instructions. The real question is this: if 5 ancient habits can dramatically change how your metabolism behaves, what other biological programs are still running inside you? Programs that were written for a world that no longer exists. And if those ancient instructions are still controlling your body today, how many of your health problems aren't modern diseases at all, but ancient survival mechanisms doing exactly what they were designed to do?